Good morning, dear children. Welcome back to our English reader class. I am Swapna. You all remember me. So we straight away move on to the lesson. The first lesson of your term 2 textbook, My Childhood Days. Okay, My Childhood Days. It is a small extract from an autobiography written by Gandhiji, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So in the last class we learned just introduction about Gandhiji's character. He is a very sensitive person that we already discussed. Okay, now we move on to the next paragraph, page number 10. Okay, in the previous class I told about Gandhiji. He is not at all ready to take part in any exercise. He does not like to do any exercise because he believes that exercise and education are different. Exercise does not have any position in the field of education. So he does not like to do any kind of exercise. So let us look what happened to Gandhiji. So when he was in the 7th standard, his headmaster, who was he? Can anyone tell the name? Dorabji, Idulji, Jimmy. Okay, he made exercise, cricket, football and all compulsory for the boys of the higher grades. Okay, so let us see what happened to Gandhiji. The reason for my dislike for gymnastics was my keen desire to serve as nurse to my father. As soon as the school closed, I would hurry home and begin serving him. Compulsory exercise came directly in the way of this service. I requested Mr. Jimmy to exempt me from gymnastics so that I might be free to serve my father. But he would not listen to me. Now it happened that one Saturday, when we did not have school in the morning, I had to go to school for gymnastics at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had no watch and the clouds deceived me. Before I reached the school, the boys had all left. Okay, let us look at the paragraph now. The reason for my dislike for gymnastics was my keen desire to serve as nurse to my father. The reason for my dislike for gymnastics. You know why I did not like this gymnastics? It was my keen desire. Keen desire here means intense, very great desire to serve as nurse to my father. So Gandhiji likes to serve his father. He was ready to do anything for his father. His father was not well. So after school hours, what did he do is, he straight away go to home and give medicines to his father and also wipe his body and all. Okay, so that is why he disliked the gymnastics. So the reason for my dislike for gymnastics was my keen desire to serve as nurse as my father. So I am always like to serve my father. You all know that you all like to help your parents. Am I right? Yes, I know. You all are very eagerly waiting to help your mother especially. You will be helping your mother by folding the dresses, washing the plates, cleaning the hall, drawing room, etc. Okay, right. So that is a very good thing. So we all have to do these kind of things in our life. So likewise, Gandhiji always likes to serve his father. His father was not well. So straight away after the class, he rushes to home and give medicine to his father and nurses him very dearly. As soon as the school closed, I would hurry home and begin serving him. Compulsory exercise came directly in the way of this service. So at that time, that compulsory exercise came directly in the way of the service. I was shocked to hear about the compulsory exercise. Actually, Gandhiji is a person who does not like to do any kind of exercise, but when it is made compulsory in the school, he has to do that. Okay, so at that time, his wish to serve his father was not at all fulfilled because he has to attend compulsory exercise at home. I requested Mr. Jimmy to exempt me from gymnastics. I requested Mr. Jimmy. Who is Mr. Jimmy? Who is Mr. Jimmy? Yes, his headmaster. So I requested Mr. Jimmy to exempt me from gymnastics. So exempt here means excuse. Excuse me or avoid me. Please excuse me from gymnastics so that I might be free to serve my father, so that I can reach home very fast and serve my father. So I requested my headmaster, Mr. Jimmy, please avoid me from this so that I can go home and serve my father. But he would not listen to me. So as I already told, his headmaster is a very strict disciplinarian, a man of method. So he was not ready to listen to Gandhiji. Now it happened that one Saturday, when we did not have school in the morning, I had to go to school for gymnastics at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And one thing happened on Saturday. What happened is, they don't have any school on that day. So Gandhiji, he did not want to go to school on that day. And one thing happened, on that day he had some gymnastics practice at school at 4 o'clock. Okay, so on that day he had some gymnastics practice at school at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had no watch, so Gandhiji does not have any watch. And the clouds deceived me and the clouds cheated me. Okay, so Gandhiji does not have any watch at that time. So he usually assumes time by looking at the clouds. Okay, but on that particular day, what happened is, the clouds cheated him. Before I reached the school, the boys had all left. So when I reached the school, I was shocked to see that there weren't any boys. All of them have gone from there. So before I reached the school, the boys had all left. There weren't any boys at the school at that time. The next day, Mr. Jimmy, examining the roll, found me marked absent. Being asked the reason for absence, I told him what had happened. He refused to believe me and ordered me to pay a fine of 1 or 2 annas. I cannot now recall how much. Okay, so the next day Mr. Jimmy examining the roll. While examining the roll, the next day Mr. Jimmy, headmaster, found me marked absent. Who is a me there? Me is Gandhiji. Okay, my headmaster found that I was absent on Saturday. I did not attend the gymnastic practice on Saturday. Being asked the reason for absence, so he called me and asked, why you didn't attend the gymnastic class on Saturday? I told him what had happened. So I explained to him what had happened on that particular day. I did not have watch, so I did not know the time correctly, and the clouds also cheated me. So I was not able to come there on time. He refused to believe me and ordered me to pay a fine of 1 or 2 annas. I cannot now recall how much. So he refused to believe me. So as I already told you, Jimmy is a person, he is a very disciplinarian, a man of method. So he refused to believe Gandhiji and ordered me to pay a fine of 1 or 2 annas. And he ordered Gandhiji to pay a fine of 1 or 2 annas. Annas means a former kind of currency which is available in the olden times. Okay, I cannot recall how much, but just now I don't remember how much money I paid as a fine. So anyhow, he has to pay a fine of 1 or 2 annas for not attending the gymnastic class on Saturday. Okay, so exempt here means excuse from doing some activity that I already told you. So here he has to remit a fine of 1 or 2 annas to Mr. Jimmy. Now next page, page number 11, the last paragraph. I was convicted of lying. That deeply pained me. How was I to prove my innocence? There was no way. I cried in deep anguish. I saw that a man of truth must also be a man of care. This was the first and last instance of my carelessness in school. I have a faint recollection that I finally succeeded in getting the fine remitted. The exemption from exercise was of course obtained, as my father wrote himself to the headmaster saying that he was wanting me at home after school. So now look at this now. I was convicted of lying. Convicted here means declared guilty. So the headmaster thought that I was lying to him. I was convicted of lying. that deeply pained me. That deeply pained whom? That deeply pained Gandhiji. So Gandhiji's headmaster, Mr. Jimmy, thought that Gandhiji was lying. So that deeply pained Gandhiji. How was I to prove? How was I to prove my innocence? No, I want to prove my innocence to Mr. Jimmy. So what should I do? How was I to prove my innocence to Mr. Jimmy? There was no way. I couldn't find any way to prove my innocence to Mr. Jimmy. I cried in deep anguish. I cried in deep anguish. Here anguish means pain. So I cried with great pain. I saw that a man of truth must be. I saw that a man of truth must be also a man of care. So from that moment I learned a lesson. I saw that a man of truth must also be a man of care. If a person wants to be very truthful in his life, he should be very careful. So a man of truth must also be a man of care. Because of Gandhiji's carelessness, he was not able to attend the gymnastics class on Saturday. For that he had to pay a fine also. And he was convicted of lying. That pained Gandhiji very much. So he understood that a man of truth must also be a man of care. This was the first and last instance of my carelessness in school. This was the first and last instance. Instance here means example. This was the first and the last instance of my carelessness in school. So after that I did not do any kind of these things at school. I have a faint recollection that I finally succeeded in getting the fine remitted. I have a faint recollection. Faint recollection here means I don't have that much memory about remitting the fine and all. So I have only a very little memory about the fine remittance and all. So I have a faint recollection that I finally succeeded in getting the fine remitted. Finally, somehow I remitted the fine. The exemption from exercise was of course obtained. So after that, somehow he obtained an exemption from doing the exercise. As my father wrote himself to the headmaster saying that he wanted me at home after school. So here what happened is, after this incident, Gandhiji felt very bad. So he told these things to his father, and what did his father do is, he wrote a letter to the headmaster, Mr. Jimmy, asking permission to exempt, to avoid Gandhiji from doing exercise after school hours. Okay, this was the incident that is narrated in your textbook. This is a very small portion from Gandhiji's autobiography. So I think you all understood this lesson very clearly. So as I told you in the last class, you have to read this lesson 3 times. Read this lesson 3 times because a lot of new words are here. You have to be familiar with the new words. Okay, so read this particular lesson 3 times and underline the new words and learn the spelling of the new words. Okay, ready? Now we straight away go to the exercise. Page number 11, there is an exercise, comprehension. Fill in the blanks with the words from the story. You have to fill in the blanks of these questions from the words from the story. The paragraphs in which the words occur are given at the end of each question. So it will be very easy for you to find out the answer. Look at the first question. I was dashed when he told me that I had won the lottery. I was dashed when he told me that I had won the lottery. The answer is there in paragraph 1. That word is there in paragraph 1, second line. I used to be astonished whenever I won prizes and scholarships. Okay, so what is the answer of this question? I was astonished. I was astonished when he told me that I had won the lottery. Okay, let us move on to the second question. The dash ordered the boys to stand in a row. Who ordered? It is there in paragraph 2. Who ordered the boys to stand in a row? Who ordered? Yes, very good. The headmaster. The headmaster ordered the boys to stand in a row. Very good. Now the next question. Children should receive proper dash to succeed in life. This answer is given in paragraph number 3. Children should receive proper what? Proper education. Very good. Proper education. It's very good. So you all know these answers clearly, I think. Okay. So children should receive proper education to succeed in life. Okay. So there is one more question in your textbook. Question number 4. Please put a cross mark because that particular question is not there in this lesson. Okay. So you can put a cross mark in the 4th question. It is not there in this particular lesson. Clear? Okay. Next exercise. True or false. Put a tick if the sentence is correct or an into if it is wrong. Okay. Shall we do the exercise? Very good. Gandhiji had no idea of his innate abilities. Gandhiji had no idea of his innate abilities. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? Yes, it is true because he does not know that he has that much abilities. Okay. Gandhi did not have strong constitution. Gandhi did not have strong constitution. This one we have discussed in the class, the last class. Constitution means what? A definite body structure. Okay. So Gandhi did not have strong constitution. True or false? Yes, it is false. Now the third question. Gandhi did not like gymnastics. Gandhi did not like gymnastics. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. He does not like to do any kind of exercise. Gandhi wanted to be exempted from physical exercise. Gandhi wanted to be exempted. Exempted means avoided, excluded from physical exercise. Correct, true. The last one, Gandhi hurried home to attend tuition classes. Is that correct? Gandhi hurried home to attend tuition classes. Is it so? No. He went straight away to home to nurse his father, not to attend any tuition classes. Okay. So, that question is wrong. Okay. Understood all of you? I think all of you understood the story very well. Okay. So, let us have an assignment. A small assignment is there. It is given there in your textbook page number 11. Refer a dictionary and write the plurals of the following words. You have to write the plurals of these words. It is a very simple one. You all know this answer very clearly. Prize, boy, man, book, advice. Okay, if you don't know the answer, you can refer a dictionary, no problem. So, prize, boy, man, book, advice. You have to write the answer in your English notebook, and I think the interaction classes are going on now. So, you have to show these answers when the teacher is asking you to show the assignment. Okay, clear? Okay, so I hope the class is very clear to you all. So, it's me, Swapna. If you have any doubt, you can call me, no problem. My number you already know. You can message me. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you. Take care.